Hey everyone, welcome back. I've recently used a lot of Shadow Quagsire in the Go Battle League, but there is another Mudboy here that is very strong, it's Shadow Whiscash. This Pokemon used to be the most popular Mudboy, at least before the Scald nerf happened, and I know a lot of people love the speed that Quagsire has, but the coverage that Whiscash has, and the potential debuff utility that you have with Scald, is a very strong option to use. Let's take a look at what this team does for us, and how the battles are going to play out. Alright, let's get on into game number 1 here, see what we're going to have in store for our first match, an Annihilate lead. We don't have a hard answer to fighters here with this team, but they instantly swap out of a very neutral lead matchup. When you see someone swap out of a neutral lead, you have to expect that they're running some sort of ADB team. They're trying to bait something out here by doing this. So I see this Shadow Steelix. I'm thinking right now there's probably a Bastiodon in the back or another Steel type. I probably want to keep my Whiscash around if I can. So that's why I throw the Aqua Tail or Gudra, chip down the Steelix into a range where our Skarmory can actually deal with it, and then absorb energy here, build up as much energy as we can, and also chip ourselves down intentionally as much as possible. I know if that Bastiodon comes back in, we want to be as low as possible. Even if that Annihilate comes in, I don't want to have a lot of energy for them to be able to farm against me. So instead of being very healthy coming out of this matchup, we take that next crunch, and we are going to throw this move right when we are in the red. If they want to shield this, that's fine, but they end up letting it go. And now we see the Bastiodon does come in. We're going to throw the Brave Bird once again to make it so they get as little farm as possible, lower our defense, and make it so they get as few fast attacks as they possibly can here. They get a couple counters on Annihilate. We can come with our Gudra and try to get a shield from this. At this point, as long as I get a single shield from this Annihilate, I know for sure that I can win this game with our Whiscash. They only threw a Night Slash here. I know this is not quite enough yet for a Shadow Ball. I can survive that, get the Aqua Tail off, and if they end up shielding this, Whiscash can easily sweep this game going Mud Bomb, and then also Mud Bombing that Bastiodon in the back. We were talking about how I was using a lot of Quagsire this season, but I haven't talked about how Whiscash is just so much better into Bastiodon. Not that Quagsire is that bad into it. Honestly, Quagsire into Basti is a great matchup, but Mud Bomb from these Whiscashes are going to do so much damage, and if we can ever land that Mud Bomb, it's basically going to put them into fast move farm down range. They do throw another move here. I know at this point that these moves from Annihilate are going to do a lot more damage than anything a Bastiodon can throw at me, so just double shield here, even if it is just Night Slashes, and we have the double moves. Even if they make that catch, I am totally fine with that, right? We are in complete control of this match. Annihilate has no energy left over. We can just overfarm back up to 2 moves, throw back-to-back Mud Bombs, one against this Bastiodon, and then yet another against that Annihilate when it comes back in. They're building up energy, but they don't have enough to get to a move. Even if they did, though, Bastiodon is not great into Whiscash. It only has resisted attacks, and we would be able to take them out before they could knock us out anyway. We get the double Mud Bomb, the Bastiodon goes down, the Annihilate as well will follow soon after, and we can take the game here with an endgame Whiscash sweep. GG's to our opponent. Love to see Whiscash sweeping the backline. Alright, our next matchup, what are we going to have for us? The Diggersby lead. Alright, a very neutral matchup. We have Aqua Tail, we have Dragon Breath, but they have Quick Attack here. And I should probably throw before a Scorching Sands comes out to potentially throw before a debuff, but it looks like here I kind of forgot about that. I don't throw first, rather. I let them throw first, and they do get a debuff. A bit of a misplay by me. We will still throw an Aqua Tail here, though. We can get to 2 before they get to 2, and if we can call a bait, or if we can just kind of shield our way through this matchup, this isn't the end of the world here. I also know there's probably a Mantine in the back with this, right? It seems like a lot of these Diggersbys have Mantine in the back, so our Skarmory needs to be matched up against that. Our Whiscash needs to be matched up against whatever their third is. They do get to a move at the last second here. I can either shield or let it go. At this point, it's not really worth a shield in my opinion, but for some reason they bait. They go for a Fire Punch, and they store energy on their Diggersby, so they swap out, but we get to this Thunder Punch here last second before Mantine can farm us down. If they shield this, we're in a great spot. Honestly, if they let this go, we're in an even better spot, but they do end up shielding that, and now Skarmory can come in, absorb all of the energy, and see what moveset this Mantine is going to have. They probably are running Ice Beam. It seems like an open Great League Ice Beam is a little bit more common than Water Pulse, but it is kind of still a toss-up, right? Looks like Ice Beam does come through. That does a little bit less damage here. It's a little bit better for us, in my opinion, because we can take 2 of these pretty easily, not even be below half health just yet. Right after this move here, we will start spamming up Brave Birds, make it so we can get as much damage onto this after they get damage onto us, so we don't debuff ourselves too early, and we almost knock them out. They let that Brave Bird go, and we get a full farm down. We have energy to go against whatever is going to come in. It is an Annihilate. I wait a turn to see what comes in to make sure a catch doesn't happen. Their Diggersby is still alive. I didn't want to throw a Brave Bird or a Sky Attack into that, so instead we make sure we throw it into this, and now as long as a catch doesn't happen here, there is no way that we lose this game. I'm just doing fast attacks till I see that swap come through. I have 2 shields. I have all the time in the world. They have to try to make the catch, and they don't make it. GG's to them. And getting into the next game here, we see the Dragon into Dragon Mirror lead. Obviously, Dragonair has Body Slam, so it can hit a lot more with their charge moves, but we have a little bit more bulk. We can probably survive this, and we can get an Aqua Tail off just barely. Good Gudras can survive this Body Slam here just on 1 HP, get the Aqua Tail off, and make it so this Dragonair either is going to have to shield or take a lot of damage, basically get knocked out to the point where our Whiscash or our Skarmory is not going to have to do much to deal with this. We get a farm down with Whiscash, because I know that Dragonair leads generally have backlines that are kind of weak here to our Whiscash. You know, maybe a Registeel, maybe some sort of like a Lantern. If it is something like that in the back, then we should have some play here. We just need to make sure our Whiscash stays alive. This is a little bit tricky, though. I know that Charge Bug, it might be an electric type, but this is an electric type that has play into Shadow Whiscash. We're going to spam out Mud Bombs as much as we can, and the fact that they're shielding their move already here, I'm pretty sure that they are going to be weak to our Whiscash in the back. I'm kind of scared, though. Anything that's going to be super weak to Whiscash, Skarmory's not going to have a ton of play into, so I need to either make a catch here or just knock out this Charger Bug as soon as possible if I want to win this game. They shield yet again here. I can get another Mud Bomb off, but at this point, we are so low, and this Charger Bug has gotten us so low, I don't think there's much we can do this game if they end up having something really bad for Skarmory in the back. I tried to make a catch here on the X-Scissor. They wait a turn. They saw what was happening, and they come in with a Registeel. This is terrible. It is exactly what I was thinking was in the back. Yet another answer here to our Skarmory. I'm going to try to throw Brave Birds, make it so I can do as much damage to them as I possibly can and see what they're going to do. They throw a move here. If it's a Focus Blast, they might be able to undercharge and not knock us out, but after this defense drop, it is hard to get that undercharge perfect. They do end up knocking us out, but the problem is a Mud Bomb will not knock out this Registeel. I know they can survive this move, and I also know they have a lot of energy left over on that Charge Bug. So if they get to a move here on Reggie, which I know they have right now, there is no way I can win this game because they get the move there, they get the move on the Charge Bug, and we just lose that match. GG's to them. Alright, next game here against the Shadow Steelix. This is like our second Shadow Steelix of the day. I don't know what's up with this. I guess people are on that Shadow Steelix train, but I thought it was going to be running Dragon Tail. As you can see, that was running Thunderfang. I should have stayed in that lead matchup, because honestly, Thunderfang does almost nothing to me. Dragon Tail obviously would have been bad, but calling a Thunderfang Steelix here in the Open Great League meta, I don't think I could do that. That is a wild play to try to make here, but our opponent is running an interesting team with an Azumarill in the back as well. I know that I need to keep my Skarmory away from that Steelix because it is running Thunderfang, right? I need to keep it away from that, and honestly, Goodra into that Thunderfang Steelix is going to have a great matchup with the Aqua Tails with the Dragon Breath pressure, so if I can keep Switch in my favor, I should be in a good spot this game. Spam out these Mud Bombs, ensure Switch advantage here with Shadow Whiscash. I know that they survived here on like 1 HP, but this is just an Ice Beam. We did shield with a Hydro Pump, so they're not going to be able to get to another move here. We can survive this, farm them all the way down here with Mud Shots, and either throw a Scald or a Mud Bomb into whatever is going to come in. It probably is not going to be that Steelix. What is their third? It is a Shadow Gligar. Now we can see the way to win this game. We Scald here, we take the shield, we align our Skarmory here against the Gligar, and we have our Goodra in the back against that Shadow Steelix. If we can keep Switch here, we will win this game. We do get an attack drop, not that it matters because they do clear the debuff here immediately, and we can see these fast attacks are not doing anything to us. If this was Dragon Tail, we'd already be basically at half health at this point, but Thunderfang, not the best move in the game, and it is a move that generates energy very slowly here. With that said, they are building up a lot of energy. If this is an Earthquake, that might actually do a lot of damage to us. I get a little bit scared, and for a good reason, they do throw Earthquake. I want to make sure that we win this game here, not have our Skarmory against that Steelix, and they do end up top lefting. GG's to them. Alright, next matchup here, we're going to see the Charge Bug into our Goodra. This is another good lead, but we have to keep in mind Charge Bug in the zeros is actually a pretty comfortable matchup for them. They probably don't knock me out because my Goodra is pretty high rank that I'm using right now, but they will get me so low that Goodra is not going to be useful against anything in the back, and it seems like if they're staying in this matchup, they probably are weak to Goodra here, so it is uncomfortable to just sack my Goodra in the lead like this. I know Aqua Tail wouldn't have knocked them out just yet. Building up extra energy here allows me to throw energy into something if they do swap out of this matchup, but they are staying in for now. We can throw the Aqua Tail now, Dragon Breath them down if they stay in, and have energy to go against whatever their backline might be. Aqua Tail doesn't quite knock out, but we do get that Dragon Breath down before they get their next move. What is going to come in to try to sponge our energy here? It's going to be, looks like a Shadow Feraligator, so not exactly the best thing to sponge our energy. We have Thunder Punch, obviously, and we are almost at back-to-back here. Makes me wonder if the backline Pokemon is going to be a Lantern. I've seen ABA Electric in the past. It definitely could be, and if that's the case, I need to make sure that my Skarmory is aligned against this this Feraligator here, and so even though that's not a great matchup, I just need to soak energy with my Skarmory, use my Shadow Whiscash as the way to sweep this game. They have to throw 2 moves at us here if they want to be able to get the knockout, and if they do get the double Hydro Cannon off, I'll just let my Skarmory go, try to save all of my shields here at this point for my Whiscash. They make an amazing catch on their electric type. I knew it was an electric type in the back, but that catch here might be a very bad thing for me this game. But what I see as my win con is I need to come out of this matchup not only with a shield for that Hydro Cannon in the back, but with a Mud Bomb loaded. As long as I have a Mud Bomb ready to go against that Gator and a shield ready, I should be able to win this game. It is a Water Gun Lantern, so they have a lot more fast move pressure, but they get to move a lot less quickly here. I can go for the Mud Bomb, and I think I can get a full Mud Shot down before they get to another Surf. That means we'll have the shield, we'll have the Mud Bomb loaded, we can throw it against this Gator here on CMP. They had back-to-back moves, so if we didn't get this move off on CMP, we would lose this game, but it looks like we do get that CMP here. We can start tapping the bubbles and guarantee the game here against the Shadow Feraligator. Very tricky backline. Honestly, Gator is a huge core breaker to Skarm and Whiscash, but just barely able to overcome that. And in the next game, the Shadow Magnezone lead. This is an absolutely terrible lead to see because I know that Goodra, while it does resist electric type damage, resistances do not matter when it comes to Shadow Magnezone. It is going to do a lot of damage here, and if I know what the team is, which I'm pretty sure I do now, we are in a lot of trouble this game. We have the Aqua Tail, we can try to get a shield from this Gligar, but I know there is going to be a Cresselia in the back. This means I can't bring my Skarmory in in here. I need to save it for later. Getting that shield is going to be big. It means I can probably go for Scald now against this Gligar, but I also know that if they get Switch advantage this game, then I instantly lose. I need to keep Switch, and I also need to keep shields around, and I also need to keep my Goodra around for that Magnezone. There's a lot of things I need to keep track of this game if I want to have a chance of winning this one. We do shield with an Aerial Ace. We are almost at the Scalds here. We're going to throw a Scald at the last second here. If it is that Cresselia in the back, I need to have energy to be able to kind of resync my Switch clock, because I did desync them by throwing that move before swapping out here. They throw yet another attack here at me. I need Switch advantage this game. The only way I win this is with Switch. So I need to shield this up, and in comes that Cresselia. As I said, our Switch clocks are misaligned here. I build up a little bit of extra energy, and now I can swap into our Skarmory. You might think this is a good matchup now that we got our Skarmory into the Cresselia here, but honestly, I know that I'm in a very precarious position. I have no shields. I have put my Skarmory here Switch locked into this Cresselia, and our Switch clocks are also misaligned, which means they can swap out to their Magnezone at any time here. Well, not at any time, but in just a second, and I need to knock out this Cresselia, but I also need to not knock it out in, enough time where they can get a huge farm down with that Magnezone. There is a lot going through my head right now. We can throw the move here. Maybe I should have gone for a Brave Bird. Maybe I shouldn't have. It's a very tough call to make because I know Brave Bird would knock out, but if I throw the Brave Bird and debuff my defense, then that Magnezone farms me down. Speaking of Magnezone, it comes in here. It catches the Sky Attack. We are in such a bad spot now. Can I get to another move? If I can, maybe there's a chance here. Looks like they do end up throwing energy. They know that I get to my move first, and now what are they going to throw? It is a Mirror Shot. It knocks us out. What do I do here, though? They have energy on Cresselia. They have energy on Gligar. How do I win this game? I can try to come in, get energy on both of my Pokemon, and maybe win the game this way. What is going to come in to absorb our energy? It's going to be that Shadow Gligar, which honestly, that is a very smart call, because I know the Shadow Gligar is outside of range where Aqua Tail will knock them out. I'll still need to throw a move with our Whiscash if we want to win this. I need to throw immediately. They're almost at the next Aerial Ace, and I know, though, that if I do throw immediately, that Cresselia does have a Grass Knot. We are one Mud Shot away from the Mud Bomb. They danced around me so perfectly this game. They kept their Switch clocked, misaligned. They used every bit of advantage they could. Honestly, GG's to them. If I'm going to lose a game, I'm going to lose a game like that. It's better than losing to RPS, right? Another electric type lead in this next game here, not a Shadow Magnezone, so a little bit easier to deal with, but they have a Guzzlord safe swap. When I see the Guzzlord here enter the battle, I have to think it might be Double Dragon. You don't normally see Guzzlord on its own, especially as a safe swap Pokemon. They're probably trying to bait out some sort of Dragon type counter, so that is where my Skarmory is going to be matched up here, and I know I don't need Switch advantage this game. I have my Goodra, I have my Shadow Whiscash, that Lantern has almost nowhere to go, so as long as I get shield advantage here, I'm in a pretty good spot no matter what is in the back. I can let this go now. They've dumped a lot of energy into my Skarmory, and I can farm this down with Goodra before they can get to a Dragon Claw, get a lot of energy against whatever their backline is going to be. Energy lead on Goodra, shield lead on Whiscash. I think we're going to be in a good spot, basically no matter what their third Pokemon could be. What's going to come in here? Maybe the Dragon to absorb all of our energy, and yeah, that energy is going to be absorbed here pretty easily because Aqua Tail does almost nothing to a Shadow Dragonair. With that said, our Shadow Whiscash is now going to be able to throw a Mud Bomb, and the Shadow Dragonair probably will get knocked out by this if they let it go after that Aqua Tail does come through. So even though Aqua Tail was resisted, it is putting in a little bit of work here, chipping it down enough so our Whiscash can deal with this pretty easily. We have the second move now. Looks like they don't go for a catch. We can throw this move against the Shadow Dragonair, and now our Whiscash can see the path to victory. Just try to get to 2 Mud Bombs against that Lantern, or even just get to 1, and then our Goodra should be in a great spot to finish this game. We get the first move. We almost get the second. They realize we're at back-to-back. They top left. GG's to our opponent. Alright, Goodra into the Vigoroth. I really don't like this matchup as the Goodra. I don't really know how to play it out either, because this matchup is so neutral. Vigoroth can outspam these body slams. They have a lot of counter damage as well, and my charge moves do almost nothing to them. I'm going to try to swap to my Whiscash here, see what I can do, but we end up drawing out a Trevenant. This is a very bad position to be in. I know that I can try to flip this, or at least get shields back from them if I start shielding this matchup, but this is not great. They do no-shield the first. We get a debuff, but that debuff doesn't really matter. Seed Bomb still one-shots us. We can get to this next Scald here. They try to CMP us, but we overfarm just a little bit. And now, are they going to shield this next Scald? We do shield the Seed Bomb, keep our Whiscash alive for a little bit longer. If they shield this, at least we'll get our shield back. If they let it go, then I think they survive. They might even get to another Seed Bomb here. Looks like they do. This is not great for us. We can shield this, farm them down, but now we're down 2 shields against a Vigoroth and against whatever the third Pokemon might be. We survived this Shadow Claw onslaught, but what Pokemon is going to try to farm us down? Might be that Vigoroth, might be the third. Vigoroth does come in here. We get the Scald off, and now I'm kind of wondering if my Whiscash is going to be useful against whatever their backline is going to be. I might want to save it here. We can swap to our Skarmory, knowing that we can try to take the energy a little bit easier here than our Goodra could. We have energy on our Goodra left over as well, and we also are going to have an energy lead with our Skarmory. We have all 3 of our Pokemon still alive, but in the back is a Mandibuzz. This Pokemon is a neutral powerhouse, especially into my team. I don't have a hard answer to this, but we do have energy on Scarb. We can try to whittle this down a little bit here with these Sky Attacks, with the Steel Wings, and eventually maybe take a shield with a Brave Bird. They do throw a Dark Pulse of their own here. It's going to do a lot of damage. It won't knock us out just yet, though. Third Pulse puts us into Aerial Ace range, and now if I throw the Brave Bird, I can hopefully get a shield here. I have a Thunder Punch almost loaded on our Gudra. If I can land that, maybe our Whiscash can scald that Vigoroth, and we can still win the game. It's going to be a close endgame matchup, as I said. We get them almost in range where Thunder Punch could knock them out, but they build up to 100 energy. They throw the Ace right before I get the move, and what is going to happen here? They have the Dark Pulse. I know our Gudra can survive, but that Vigoroth in the back is a huge threat right now. We have our Whiscash. We can swap into Whiscash right now, get an energy lead, hope that they swap into their Vigoroth as well to try to get to a Body Slam against us. Looks like they do swap. We can get the Scald hopefully right before they get the Body Slam. It's going to knock them out. We can get the Scald against that Mandibuzz as well. If they don't throw energy against us with that Mandibuzz, then our Gudra can get to that move. If they don't throw energy against us with this Mandibuzz, then we get the Scald. If they do, our Gudra has the Thunder Punch, so we win the game now. Out of nowhere, we get the win here with our Shadow Whiscash, scalding through both the Mandibuzz and that Vigoroth, and mudshotting down that Trevenant. We got a full-on Whiscash sweep that game. Good stuff. All right, next game, the Lantern lead. Yet another Lantern lead. Is it Water Gun? Is it Spark? That's always the question. They swapped the Shadow Dragonair here, and in comes Skarmory to deal with this. I'm kind of thinking, though, I just uploaded a video here with a Water Gun Lantern with a Shadow Dragonair safe swap with a Cresselia in the back. Maybe I'm playing right into my opponent's hands here by swapping into our Skarmory. If that is the case, we are in a bit of a tricky matchup here in the backline. I know, though, that Skarmory can survive these moves pretty easily here. I'll have a Brave Bird loaded against whatever wants to come in and farm me down, but how am I going to deal with that Cresselia now that I have my Gudra and my Whiscash here in the back? It's going to be a little bit awkward, but we can at least Brave Bird this Lantern when it comes back and chip them down a little bit, maybe put them into range where I can Mud Shot and Mud Bomb them down, or maybe put them into range where our Gudra can just farm them all the way down later on too. Let's see what we end up doing. We come in with our Whiscash here, because I know if it is Cresselia in the back, I need to get an energy lead into them, and I also know that I can easily get a lot of Mud Bombs. Mud Bomb will one-shot them from this range, and we'll show this move just in case it isn't that Cresselia, but we probably are expecting it to be that Cress in the back. We can throw this Mud Bomb here. They're staying in this matchup, and I know Cresselia is a very big core breaker, but if we can land a debuff, I'm pretty sure that I don't get one-shot on our Gudra with that Moonblast. So if that Moonblast will come through on our Gudra and we can get a debuff, we might still be able to win this game. We get a shield with a Mud Bomb, we throw the Scald here, we need to start fishing for debuffs. If we can get a debuff, as I have been saying, we are in a much better spot than we would be otherwise. It does get shielded, no debuff there. The thing is, if I throw 2 Scalds, it's more likely than not that one of them will debuff. It's just barely over 50% chance after 2 Scalds to get 1 debuff. Please, Scald, I need a debuff more now than ever. We throw the Scald here, I try to CMP, but they do overfarm very smartly, and now, if we get the debuff, I think we might be able to win this game. We do debuff them. This is great news for us. Our Gudra has some energy left over. As long as we can outpace them to a Moonblast plus a Grass Knot with the 2 Aqua Tails, we should be able to win the game. We have the first Aqua Tail already loaded. They are not yet at the Moonblast. They probably have it like right now, but I think our Gudra should be able to get to the next Aqua Tail here, or maybe even Dragon Breath down here against this Cresselia. We just have to race down to the moves. Can we knock them out before they get to the Grass Knot? Let's see. It's going to be very close. Right before we get the Aqua Tail, we Dragon Breath them down. We take the game. GG's to our opponent there. Oh man, another Vigoroth lead. I hate these lead matchups here against the Vigoroths because we get outpaced to the Body Slams. Counter plus Body Slam is such a dangerous combination. We do get to the Aqua Tail first, though. They don't throw a move before we do, so maybe we draw a shield from them. Looks like they do end up shielding it, and them shielding that move, in my opinion, is a big mistake. Gudra can only win the 1s. We lose the 0s, we lose the 2s, so if they just play out the 0 shield matchup, they're in a great spot. But they end up shielding the first move here. We might shield in return, because I know I win the 1s, right? If I can get switch advantage with Whiscash and with Skarmory, maybe we will have play into the backline. We can throw this Aqua Tail right now, make it so that this Vigoroth is going to have to make a decision. Are they going to shield again, or are they going to let it go? They end up letting it go. We can Dragon Breath down, and now we just have to see what is going to come in to try to farm us down. It's a Charger Bug. This is a little bit awkward, but I do like that I have switch advantage this game, because I get to avoid this with our Skarmory, and I can get an Aqua Tail off, put them into range where Scald or Mud Bomb might knock them out, and come in with our Whiscasher, Sponge Energy, and see what their third Pokemon might be. It could be a lot of things in the back. Vigoroth is a very neutral Pokemon. It's probably going to be an Annihilate answer, maybe a flyer like a Gligar, maybe a Mandibuzz, maybe Cresselia, a lot of things that could be in the back that Skarmory should have play into. We take yet another move here. We have a lot of energy left over, but they do swap out to a Gligar, a non-Shadow Gligar. Skarmory loves to see this. We RPS them this game, I guess. GG's to them. Switch advantage was everything, it looks like, for us. But even if we didn't have Switch, I think our Shadow Whiscash was in a great spot. Alright, Bastiodon lead. I haven't really talked about this, but our team is a little bit ABA weak to Bastiodon. With that said, generally when I see Basties in the lead, they probably have Victory Bell in the back. They might have Tropius, they might have Wigglytuff as well. So if we can take care of this Bastiodon in the lead, I know for sure that Skarmory in the back is going to have a lot of play. We can shield up the Stone Edge, get to 3 Aqua Tails, before they can get to their second Stone Edge here, and if we can end up chipping this thing down into range where Skarmory can deal with it, we are in a decent position. We have the next Aqua Tail loaded. They probably don't have to shield this. They can survive 3 Aqua Tails here. We don't have a lot of Dragon Breath pressure. Shadow Dragon there has 2 damage per Dragon Breath, but Goodra here only has 1, and they come in with a Razor Leaf Tropius. The fact that is a Tropius coming in here almost guarantees the fact it's going to be a Shadow Victory Bell in the back. Victory Bell is going to be very tough for our Whiscash to deal with. Honestly, at this point, our Goodra is so low as well. I think what we're going to have to do here is a very interesting and high-level play where we are going to have to purposely stall out the Switch Clock. We're going to throw the Sky Attack here, purposely undercharge it, get a fast move down against this thing, stall the Switch Clock as much as humanly possible here, let them throw energy into us. Every time they throw a move here, the Switch Clock gets closer and closer to being up. The second that Bastion comes back in, I want to be able to swap out. I can throw a move here into the Bastion as well to stall out the Switch Clock a little bit more. I don't want to take as much damage as possible. I want to just make sure I can swap out now, save my Skarmory for that Victory Bell that might be in the back, and if it is, we are in a great spot. We have so much energy that we stored on our Goodra, we can get the Aqua Tail through. It's going to do a lot of damage. It might not knock them out, but it's going to put them in range where Skarmory can just stealing them down. What is their backline? It is going to be that Shadow Victory Bell. Saving that Skarmory was so huge for us this game. We can get this Aqua Tail off. If they let this go, then I think our Skarmory should be able to just fast move this down super easily. They do not shield that move. Obviously, Victory Bell takes resistance from everything Goodra has, but at this point, they're so low on health. I just fast move through this, I fast move through their last Pokemon, and I can win this game. They do throw a move here, but I'm going to just let this go. I'm going to farm this down with our Whiscash, right? Why not? We can farm this down here, we can farm down that Bastion, and Whiscash will be able to close up the backline against Double Grass in the back. Shadow Whiscash and Shadow Quagsire both have a lot of different reasons to run them. Quagsire obviously more play into the flyers, Whiscash more play into the electrics with this Mud Bomb pressure, but they're both very strong, and I loved using them both here in the last couple of days. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching today's video. I stream Pokemon Go PvP nearly every day at twitch.tv/ItsAXN, so if you want to see content like this live, make sure to check me out there. I'm also going to upload a lot more videos to this channel, so if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Alright everyone, thank you again for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.